basically, I live at the rest stop because I have no choice, and I keep seeing the military out there. I keep seeing like all the ships coming in. They take things off. Little ships go up to the back of it, and one night the whole thing was lit up with a bunch of floodlights, and we didn't know what they were doing. You know, and there's been a lot of trucks coming in and out. They have guards at Red Beach now. They have had semis there. They've had tour buses there. They've had people there put up a stage with a bunch of flags and a bunch of cars with different banners on them. You know, and now they put up, like one time they put up a whole camp and then it disappeared in a couple of days. I've seen tanks running up and down the hills. And so the helicopters keep coming over and keep cruising the beach. You know, and for the past couple of nights, it's been where the boats are lighted up for like an hour, and then you see boats coming and going, and then they turn it off. And now they have a sign over there on Las Pulgas Road that says J-Lot one way. It says pick up vehicles this way and crate pickup on the other side. And this morning they had more camouflage vehicles there with antennas up on there, and they have a little where the road goes on their side, and it has a bridge. They now have a guard there. They have floodlights. They have a bathroom there, and they have a little guardhouse, and then they have floodlights at the end of that road.
Now, some of the exercises you've been seeing, you was mentioning about there was hundreds of tents that were set up. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, when I was going down the highway, down north on the 5, on the right side, there was a whole bunch of like tents and stuff with the tanks going around and around and cars going around there, but I don't know why it was there, and then it disappeared. You know, as fast as it came up, it was gone. You know, but I don't know why there's so much there. And like when I've asked the military before, they would tell me, oh well, you know, it's just so that we can deploy things and do this and that. And I asked them, well, what are you building out there? I go, it looks like a pier. And they said, oh well, that's so that later on we can bring in warships. And then I asked the other day, I asked the Marines, and one Marine said he didn't know anything. Another one said there was no Red Beach, and the other one, he told me in English. It was a tall white guy. He told me in English, and he had a really dark tan, to let it go. And then he told me in Spanish, no preguntes, no hay nada. You know, and he told me déjalo, you know, which means there's nothing there, don't ask, just let it go. You know, and I don't understand why. And I was listening to their conversation, and they were talking about the same thing that most Marines have been talking about, is that some of their buddies that go to school with them all of a sudden aren't in school anymore, and when they ask, they're told not to ask, that it's none of their business.
Now, how long were they supposed to be in these classes?
Well, most of them were saying that they were like 6 months classes, and they were gone in a couple of months, and they weren't doing badly in class, they weren't having any problems, but they're just suddenly gone. And nobody says why or where they went, you know, and they didn't even get to say goodbye.
Can you talk about the activity near the rest stop? What type of personnel, government personnel that's been there?
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of Homeland Security. They come by and they stop, and they go look around, and they're always writing down things. They go like they're going to the bathroom, but they never go in the bathroom. They just stand there and start writing, and they walk around. And INS has come by, and now they're stopping and walking around, and they're, you know, shining the lights on the cars. And they're, because I've been there for a year, before they drive by occasionally, now it's every night. They drive by every night, somebody comes by. And for the past 2 nights, we've had the Homeland Security guy come by and look. And, you know, and his car says, you know, to stay away from that.
So does he ever make contact with anyone?
No, he never talks to anybody. He just gets out of his vehicle and goes like he's going to the bathroom. But he never goes in the bathroom. He just stands there and starts writing things down. So it makes a lot of people nervous. And I just tell the people, just ignore him. Like, we're not doing anything wrong. You know, just leave him alone. Whatever he's doing, it's his problem, not ours.
So you grew up in this area in Southern Cal. Have you ever seen large activity of military ops
not like
on such a grand scale?
Nope.
How many military equipments and, you say, tanks and helicopters that you've seen in these exercises?
Well, like one time there's about like 6 or 7 of them, and another time you could hear them in the night just going up in the hills, you know, and you could see their lights and you could hear the noise, but you know, they're all in a row. Just like one night there was a bunch of trucks, and we could tell they were trucks because their lights were on, and it was all in a little row just going in the night, and it was getting dark. And we just looked at it, you know, me and most of the people there, and we just thought it was cool just to watch them. You know, but it was a long line of trucks. But now all of a sudden, it's like I tell you, they're starting to have more equipment up there on the entrance to Red Beach, and the gate's never closed. It's always open. It always has guards there. And they're putting up, like one time they had like 6 or 7 trucks there with camouflage, and then the next day there were only 2, and now there's 2 with camouflage, and there were some more different kind of trucks there today that, I don't know what they're doing with them, and they had a couple of tanks there early in the morning.
So there's several restaurants that's around the military base. Have you been hearing any type of chatter in various restaurants, or are people speculating what they think it may be?
Well, some people think they're going to build condos there, and I tell them I don't think so. Other people tell me, well, maybe it's just going to be a place where they can do exercises and put a school there. And I tell them, well, I says, if it's a school, why are they building that big pier all the way out there? And they have cranes there, they have floodlights, and they seem to be doing a lot of work at night as opposed to the daytime.
Now, it's been reported that people have spotted submarines out there. Have you seen any?
I didn't see anything. All I saw was this thing on the top. It was real big and it was square, but I don't know what was under it. And this one man was telling his kid, he goes, look, that's a submarine. He goes, no. He says, it's a submarine. And I told him, I said, well, I don't know. I says, I just see this big thing on top. And he goes, no. He says, that's the top of it. But it's like I tell you, I don't know much about submarines, but that one man was real excited. He keeps telling his kid, he says, no, I know what I'm seeing. He says, that's a submarine. And the other thing we've had that I thought was strange was last night we had a cop from Mexico. He stopped at the rest stop, and he said he was tired and he was going to spend the night, and he said that he had to go to LA on some business with the government. But which is strange to me for a cop from Mexico to be down here. And he had a car, a nice truck, and he had the American plates, and on the top it had the little plate from Mexico, those little tags they put on him. And he was telling me, he says, yeah, he says, I'm a cop over there, and he says, I'm not wearing my uniform right now, but he had his badge on his shirt. And he told me, he says, I'm just going to LA. He says, I got to take care of some business. He says, I got to talk to some people down there. He says, from the government. I told him, well, I hope it goes good for you, whatever it is. But he never did tell me what he was doing. Which over here we don't see that.
Let's see. Okay, you think of anything else that you've seen, basically?
No, basically that's it. They keep moving a lot of stuff at night, and they keep hovering over us, because like the other night we had a helicopter, because we see them before it gets dark, and he flies over us, and then he starts patrolling the beach. He keeps going up and down the beach, and then after a while he makes like a circle and comes back, and then he stays and hovers over the rest stop. Nobody understands why, because we're not doing anything. And then after a while he just takes off down to the beach again and patrols it again. But once in a while he'll shine the light on the beach, but that's about it.
Now, what is this? I heard you mention about there were Asian troops.
Yeah.
That were there, and they was at the rest stop.
Yeah, they came up and they spoke English, but then they started speaking some other languages. Sound like it was because they were Asians, and not, we were watching them. We didn't understand what they were saying, but they were pointing out and they were looking all around. And they were talking, they were very excited, and then they got in the car. None of them went to the bathroom, none of them bought any soft drinks or anything. They were just looking around and talking and pointing.
Were they watching the exercises?
I don't know what they were watching. All I know is they were looking all around and they were talking, and nobody could understand what they were saying.
Were they in uniform?
Yeah, they all had uniform, and they all had these little things on the side, and they had these things on the front with their name and stuff. They seemed to have, one guy seemed to be the one who was telling the other ones what to do. But we don't know why they were there.